Hey everyone, welcome back to Metal Mondays with Marathon Melio. Usually I kind of dive into my box of medals, but actually decorated my Christmas tree this year with all my medals. So what I did is I just kind of walked around the tree a little earlier today and tried to find a medal that I hadn't already done an episode on. And the first one that caught my eye was this one right over here. This one here is the Temecula Half Marathon. And so with this one here, it was kind of a last minute race for me. One of my friends gave me an entry to it a couple of weeks prior, and I had already been training, so it was kind of no big deal. But I had never done this race before, and I've kind of always wanted to do it. So Temecula is actually about an hour and 15 minutes away from San Diego. It's kind of known as the wine country. And if you can see, that's why there's a wine stopper on the bottom of my medal. So it's pretty cool, you know. I haven't used it yet, but you just put that right on the top. And you can, you know what? I should open a bottle of wine. I'm totally gonna do that. All right. What a good idea. I should have thought about that earlier. Anyway, let's see, where was I? So I think we were talking about the cork, or I'm sorry, the metal, which dubs as a wine stopper on the top. And so with this race, it was actually a gift. It was gifted to me through a friend, and so she gave me a free entry. And I had always kind of really wanted to run it. And it's in Temecula. I don't know if I said that earlier because I got distracted when I opened my bottle of wine. But it's in Temecula, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away. Kind of far. It's known as San Diego's kind of wine country, and it's kind of fun to go over there and drink a lot of wine. And so they have this this race yearly, and I'd never done it before, and so it was offered to me, and of course I said yes. I've always wanted to run it. I've just never done it because it was a little far. But I'm always down to try new courses, and so I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So, but it turns out that the day of the race, for some reason, I didn't like turn on my alarm, so I didn't wake up in time. And I think I had like 45 minutes or something, or less than an hour. I woke up with less than an hour to get to the race start, but the race was an hour and 15 minutes away. And so I was kind of just like freaking out, and I was like, fucking, I'm not gonna go because I'm gonna miss it and whatever, and it's far. And so I was just like, back and forth in my head, don't go, yes, go, don't go. And but because it was given to me, as a gifted entry, I didn't want to let my friend down, and I felt really bad. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. So luckily I have this weird tradition of sleeping in my running clothes and whatever I'm gonna run my race in the next day. So I literally just woke up, had this quick little battle in my head, go, don't go, don't go, brush my teeth, grabbed my shit, and I was out the door. And I flew over there. And so obviously I showed up really late. I was about 35 minutes late. And the half marathon started first, and by the time I got there, the 5K was starting, and it was going in waves. So that had already started as well. People were running the 5K, and I jumped in the wave, and we had to wait like 3 minutes for the next wave to go. And so I'm anxious, I'm ready to go or whatever, I'm waiting and waiting. And so finally I just went up to the announcer guy, and I was like, I'm so late for the for the marathon. He's like, okay, go. And so I just took off. And I was like all alone, and it's a whole different course than the 5K. So I was dead last and didn't even really know where I was going, so I just kind of went for it, and was running alone for a long time. And eventually I caught up to the three others pacers. So I caught up to the people who were running the 3-hour half marathon. And then I was like, okay, cool. And I was kind of flying by those people, and so they were like, oh my gosh, go. They were like all excited for me, but little did they know that I'm usually a fast runner anyways. I had just started really, really late. But as far as the course goes, I really enjoyed it, actually. I'm so glad I did it. I think part of it was because I was alone half of the time. And so you're kind of running through this mountainous area and stuff, and it was kind of chilly at some points, but because the sun was hiding behind the mountain. But then you kind of run around the mountain, and the sun pokes out, and then it's like nice and warm, and it just like warms the skin, and it's just like a good feeling when you're kind of cold, and then you get this burst of like light and heat and warmth and energy almost too. And with that though, Temecula also has a lot of hot air balloons. I think this is a hot air balloon. Maybe. I think maybe this is supposed to be like a hot air balloon too. So I'm looking over, I'm running, but I'm looking out in the sky and stuff, and I just see all these like hot air balloons coming up, and it's really just cool. Like, so there's mountains, there's hot air balloons, there's, wine vineyards, and it was just a really nice course. I really enjoyed it, and so I just, I kept going, and I felt really good, and so I was kind of speeding. Unfortunately, I forgot to mention that I ran out of the house so fast that I forgot to bring my case for my phone, for my GPS. And so because of that, I couldn't run with my phone, so I had no idea how fast I was running, if I was running too fast or too slow or whatever. So that was another issue that I had with the race. I was kind of mad at myself, but I just flew out of the house. I forgot some stuff. So I felt like I was running really fast and really hard, but I really didn't know. But I was catching people, so I caught the 3-hour mark, and then I caught the 2.5-hour marathon mark, and so finally I was like running with the crowd. And some of the course was uphill, quite a bit. You're running uphill, like I would say maybe a good, 5 miles. So from like mile, let's just say mile 3 to mile 7, you're running uphill or something. So it was a little tough, but also I saw that it's an out and back course, so people were already coming back, and so I knew that once I got to the top, the rest of it would be downhill, and so I was kind of looking forward to that. So I just pushed myself all the way up the hill, got there, started like flying downhill, because it's downhill, you just take bigger steps, bigger strides, and you're a lot faster. So I caught up to the 2:15 people, pacers, and so I was doing really well. Eventually, I really wanted to catch up to the 2-hour mark. Again, I didn't know how fast I was going myself personally, but I knew that if I caught the 2-hour mark people, that my time would be under 2 hours. So I just kept going, and literally like the last half a mile, I saw the 2-hour mark in front of me, pacers, and I just sped past them, crossed that finish line, and bam, I finished. And in my mind, I did better than 2 hours. When I went to go check my time, it turned out that it was like 2 hours and a half or something weird, that I was like, that's not right. I knew it wasn't right, but you can't argue with official race time. So I was like, I guess that's what it is. So turns out that my timing tracker on my bib didn't register correctly. So eventually they found it, went back and corrected it, and I ended up placing 16th place overall. So I started in dead last, but because of my chip time and everything, I actually ended up placing 16th place. So I was stoked. I missed a new PR by like, I think a minute or under a minute or something. But still, I was still very happy with my performance, and I really did enjoy the course. It was really, really nice. At the end of the course, they gave you, I think, like 6 free drinks, or 3 or 6 or 4, I don't remember. They give you drink tickets, and you just go around. And I had some mimosas, I had some red wine, I had some rosé. I think I went back to mimosa again. So yeah, it was fun. It was like a good race. I really enjoyed it, and I would absolutely do it again. And I actually plan on doing it again next year, because I want to do better. So yeah, that was kind of a long story, but that was a fun story to tell. I actually just want to now show you how this thing works. Yeah, it totally is a hot air balloon, so that makes total sense. It's a hot air balloon and a wine stopper on the top. And so you just put that there, and booyah! Clever. Good idea. Some of these medals are super cool. I had a different one that was a coaster. I had a different one that was a bottle opener. So they're getting really cool. Yeah. So I guess that was a really long story for this episode. Thank you for listening. Happy Monday, and I will see you soon.